Hey everybody, it's your Farm to School coordinator Alida, and today I want to celebrate April's harvest of the month, which is whole grains, by making some popcorn on the stovetop. So in this video, we'll talk a little bit about whole grains and why they are so awesome, and then I'll show you all how to make my favorite movie snack. What are whole grains? A grain is the edible seed inside a cereal crop. These grains are composed of three different parts: the bran, the endosperm, and the germ. The bran is a thick inner covering that is made up of several layers. The endosperm is the soft inner part of the grain that provides nourishment for the seed after it's germinated. And the germ is the part of the grain that produces the sprout for a new plant to grow. A whole grain is a grain with all three of these components. When we eat whole wheat flour, for example, we're consuming the bran, germ, and endosperm of the grain, ground up into flour. This is great because the bran contains lots of fiber, which helps us digest our food. The germ contains healthy fats and proteins, which give us energy. And the endosperm contains carbohydrates, which also give us energy, but in shorter bursts. When we eat white flour, the grain has been stripped of its bran and germ, and we are only consuming the endosperm, so we lose out on all the great benefits that come from the bran and the germ. Okay, so maybe you're on board with how wheat is a whole grain, but what about corn? Let's take a look at the anatomy of a popcorn kernel to learn more. The kernel is the seed of the corn plant and has the same basic structure as other whole grains. The outside shell is the bran, the inside is the endosperm, and at the center of the kernel we have the germ. When a kernel of popcorn is heated up, the moisture trapped inside the germ and endosperm turns into steam and looks for a way to escape the hard hull of the bran. This causes an explosion, or a pop, of the starchy inside of the kernel breaking out. Pretty cool, right? But enough about the theory of popcorn. Let's make some. If you're following along at home, please make sure that you're being safe in the kitchen and have adult supervision. To make popcorn on the stovetop, you'll need a large pot, a half-cup measuring cup, a tablespoon, some oil, your corn kernels, a large bowl, and whatever toppings you'd like. Start by adding some oil to your pot. You're going to want to add enough oil to just cover the bottom of the pot. So in this case, I'm going to add just a couple of tablespoons of high heat oil. I'm using sunflower oil, but you could use canola or vegetable oil. That would be fine too. Then I'm going to turn on my heat to medium. And then I'm going to add a couple of corn kernels. So I'm just going to shake a few out into my hand. And then I'm going to add a couple to the pot, to the oil. And then I'm going to cover the pot with the lid and wait for those kernels to pop. That's when I'll know it's time to add the rest of the popcorn. Okay, so it looks like my tester kernels have popped. So now I can add the rest of my popcorn. And I'm going to add a half a cup, which doesn't look like a lot, but it definitely puffs up as it pops in the pot. I'm going to cover it and then put on my oven mitts so that I can shake it. We don't want the kernels to burn to the bottom, and shaking it definitely helps with keeping that heat even on our popcorn. While my popcorn is popping, I'm going to melt some coconut oil as a topping. You could do butter or olive oil or whatever you have on hand at your house. You'll know that your popcorn is done when the time between pops slows way down. So at that point, you can turn off your stove and turn your popcorn over into your large bowl and then start to add your toppings. So I'm going to drizzle my coconut oil on top here, and that helps the other toppings stick on. And for toppings, I have a bunch of options here. We could do nutritional yeast or dill or salt or pepper or garlic powder. I encourage you to experiment with your flavors. Now you're ready to grab a seat on the couch, cue up your favorite movie, and share a snack with a buddy. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you learned something about whole grains and will enjoy stovetop popcorn that you can make at home. If you have any questions about recipes or gardening or anything farm to school related, please reach out to me by my email. Stay safe. Bye.